Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, that's better. Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the show. If you're new here, my name is Mitchell. In today's episode, I'll be talking about woman wants a man she feels safe around. And I do these YouTube lives every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys do find this video content of value, though, share with your friends. Let people know. Let people know more about this, okay? And if you're here and you're watching this, hello. Okay, my wires are messing up. Okay. Okay, this should hold. I need new wires. Okay. Let's talk about a recap episode first. Okay, in this recap episode, this is an episode that I've done before. And it is called Women Want to Be Your Cheerleader. She does not want to be your coach. So women want to be your cheerleader, not your coach. And the slide I will be talking about, what's up, Tracy? And the slide I'll be talking about is why masculine men lead. Why masculine men lead. So it's part of masculine energy to lead, okay? You don't have to be a guy. I'm just saying most men are usually more masculine and most women are usually more feminine, okay? But masculine and feminine energy, I do have to, put a disclaimer out there that there's no gender. There's no gender, okay? So it's whatever you feel most that speaks to you most, okay? Now, when a woman says she wants a man who knows how to lead, it typically means that she is looking for a partner who can, number one, make a decision, that takes initiative and provides a direction, okay, in all areas of his life. So it could be something as simple as making a decision on what to eat, where to go, and making a big decision on what am I gonna do for the rest of my life, or like what's my calling, what is my purpose in life, and why am I here on this earth? What is my purpose? Okay. So this includes, like I said, relationships, families, careers, and things like that. So the desire of leadership, okay? The desire of leadership, this is what it encompasses. And these are the certain qualities that comes with it. What's up, Bree? Okay. This is what it comes with. It comes with confidence, okay? It's being decisive. It's having responsibility. It's the ability to guide and support her, okay? Guide and support, okay? Confidence, decisiveness, responsibility. All these things matter. What's up, Crystal? Okay, hopefully this fixes it. Okay. Now, what she does not want. What she does not want is someone that kind of leans over to her to make the decisions. She doesn't want that. So like I said, she wants to be your cheerleader. She does not want to be your coach. She wants you to make the decision, not her, okay? You could ask like, hey, what cuisine are you feeling today? Like, what do you want to eat? What do you feel like eating today? And if she has an answer, great. If she doesn't know, you better figure it out, okay? Let's do this. Let's do that. Now, girls just want to have fun. They just want to be the one to enjoy the time with you. What's up, Kareem? They want to enjoy that time with you. So it's our job as men to help facilitate that so that it builds attraction. It's attractive to them. Why? Because you're being decisive. Being decisive, what it means to her when a guy is being very decisive and he knows what he wants and he goes after it. Being decisive means that it takes a lot of mental load off of her. It shows that you have a strong sense of self and you have good instincts. And what does that mean? It means good survival rate, right? You're surviving, okay? You're surviving. Now, you're not getting chased by tigers and saber-toothed tigers and dinosaurs and things like that. But if you were, she's not going to want to be with somebody that gets eaten. Her survival is very low, her survival rate. She wants to be with someone that could survive. Now, being decisive takes a lot of mental load off of her. Now, if we want to be better, okay, to understand why being a leader is so attractive, we have to understand why the opposite, the flip side of the coin. So what's the opposite? So the opposite of being decisive is being indecisive. Hello, Indonesia. Is being indecisive. So being indecisive and when you're hesitating, it slows you down in all areas of your life. It slows you down, okay? And once you slow down, what does it mean? Okay? Now, if she looks at you to the as a provider, the protector, and you're supposed to be that person that does all those things, but you lack traits of decision making, her chance of survival is lower. In modern analogy, it means that her quality of life will decline. Her quality of life, okay? So now, imagine a guy who already knows what he wants. He's good at making quick decisions. He's good on his feet, makes quick decisions. He doesn't really hesitate, and he knows what he wants, and he's sure of himself. And then he sees a woman that he's attracted to, and he goes up to her and he talks to her, displays a lot of confidence. He's certain and he knows what he wants, and he goes after it. Compared to a guy that's kind of like, I don't really know. She might turn me down. I think she's pretty, but blah, 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 blah. Like, he's making all these stories up, and he's not acting in ways that is more confident. She's not going to feel any way towards you. So now you have to understand, like, how could a woman trust that man with her safety if he's very indecisive about life? So that's why being able to make decisions without being too hesitant about it. And now if you're unsure, I mean, it happens. You have to start somewhere. Everybody has to start somewhere, but start building that type of confidence, and you will become more competent. It will just come naturally. Next thing you know, like in the beginning, you might not even know what you want to eat, but you already know what you like eating. You're like, hey, I love this place. Let's go here. That's making a decision. Why? Because you already know. But if you never even done that, you don't make decisions, it's going to be really difficult for your life. Okay. Now let's talk about what she means by safety. Okay. What she means by being safe. Okay. Now, the foundation for a healthy relationship, feeling safe, is really important. Okay. It's a crucial foundation for intimacy, trust, and being vulnerable in a relationship. Now, I've heard a lot of things about what guys, they're like, oh, you can't display, weakness and vulnerability. And there's a big difference between those two. Being weak is just if you're weak, you're just weak. But being vulnerable is is understanding how to open up and finding a solution as the guy, so that you are no longer weak. You're at a weak point in your life, but you're not going to stay that way. So there's a big difference. And now, it doesn't mean that you empty everything onto her and have her try to fix it for you. You're the guy. Go figure it out yourself. You're the masculine man in the relationship. You have to eventually figure out a way. That is what it means to survive. Okay. Now, next one is reducing stress and anxiety. So when a woman feels safe, they experience less stress. Especially if she's safe around you, she's less stressed. She's more present. So when she's more present with you, there's less anxiety and there's less fear. When her what happens is when her feminine energy is being threatened, okay? When you stop displaying more attractive behaviors and you're acting more weak, more needy and things like that, and it starts to cause her to move into her masculine. And that's not where she wants to be, okay? Because masculine energy is all about making decisions, going after what you want and things like that. She wants to just have fun with you. She wants you to take that mental load off of her and just make the decisions, okay? But you're not controlling. You're just like, hey, let's go over here. Let's do this. Let's do that. Now, if she wants to do something, you could be like, yeah, let's do that, okay? Or maybe you're like, yeah, maybe next time. It really depends. You got to play by ear, okay? Every relationship is different. So Now she's moving towards her masculine energy. Now that polarity is gonna be mixed up, okay? It's gonna cause her to want to step away. She's not gonna want to be around you. But now it's our job, us as men, when she steps into her masculine energy. Maybe she was, that's how she's brought up. It's our job to learn how to lower her guard so she can open back up and being into her feminine again. It is our job to do that. Now, it's also our job to, well, do I want to tolerate all this? Is this too much for you? Okay, is this too much for you? Okay, you have to decide that for yourself. I can't decide that for you. Now, you have to understand that feminine energy is very chaotic. Okay, while masculine energy is more calm, it's more stoic, they're unbothered, he's unperturbed. Okay, he's that rock in the ocean, waters keep splashing. Guess what? The rock's still there. The rock is still there. It's not moving. Okay, you're not that piece of wood that's floating in the ocean that gets bothered every single time a wave hits. Okay, you're that rock in the ocean. Okay, you're not that guy from Titanic, Jack. Okay. Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, you're that rock in the ocean. Now, also, this helps facilitate greater emotional well-being. Okay, so her feeling safe around you allows her to be more present. Okay, she has less anxiety, she's more present, she becomes more authentic, she could be herself around you. Oh my God, right? And then it allows this emotion, like this ability to have her connect with you emotionally. And when she feels connected to, she's not gonna get rid of you. Okay, she's not getting rid of you. So it is where she operates her best, when she's relaxed, she's present, she's herself, she's carefree. But now, us as men, we have to understand, men and women, okay? Men and women, we have to remember, it is not our job to change them, okay? It is just our job to align ourselves with someone that's healthy, or at least working on becoming a better person. That is our job. That is our job, okay? Not our job to change somebody. When you're trying to change somebody, that's really for you. You're only doing it because this is how I want. And that's not how a relationship works. Relationship is there to give. Love is allowing. You're there to give, okay? I'll talk about that later. Anyways, trying to change someone is unrealistic, and it's putting this unrealistic expectation on yourself, and you're gonna be let down. More than likely. Okay, now self-esteem and confidence. Feeling safe allows women to embrace her true self, and that's what you want. You want her to embrace her true self. Okay, and then you can see like, oh, is this person good for me? Okay, you help facilitate this. You're allowing her to be who she is, and it's still, at the end of the day, it's still, you get a choice. You're like, well, do I connect with her? Do I care about her? Do I not? Like, it's really up to you. You at least have choice. You have options. Okay, so it allows her to be a true self and develop a stronger sense of self-worth. So you're there to support her. You're there to build. That's what a relationship is, okay? You're not there to break them down so that you can feel good about yourself. That's what most narcissists do. They control you. They make you feel like you can't live without them. And everything, like if you don't have them in your life, then your life is in shambles. It's like, no, it's not. I want you to become the best version of yourself. Why wouldn't I? Because I care about you as a person. I love you, and I want us to do great together. That is a happy, healthy, loving relationship. Now, it is part of feminine energy to love and be loved. Okay, it is part of feminine energy to love and be loved. That's what she wants. How are you going to give that to her? How are you going to allow that so that she can feel that way? It is our job as men to learn how to guide and lead that direction so that she can open up. A lot of women now are closed off. They're upset. They hate the word masculine energy because they hear that term toxic masculinity. And I can see that. Because there's a lot of men out there that don't understand women, that belittles women, that talks down about. I'm like, look, you still want them at the end of the day. But yet you're complaining, you're talking down on them, you're calling them all these names, derogatory names. You're not helping the cause, okay? It's better to understand women than talk shit about them. That's just my 2 cents. Anyways, love and be loved, okay? So if men could provide this type of safety for her while focusing on having fun and having an exciting life, she is not thinking about getting rid of you. When a woman is in love with you, she wants your attention all the time. Okay, that's what my coach says. Okay, Coach Corey Wayne. Go look him up. He's very good. When a woman's in love with you, she wants your attention all the time. She's not thinking about getting rid of you. She wants your attention. Okay. And that's where us as men, we can't lose that sight. We have to understand, like, how is she feeling? Understand what her level of interest is. That is where we could make audits Is she spending more time? Is she saying more I love yous? Like what is she doing? Okay? Or what is she not doing enough? Okay? Now, women are not really like they're not that hard to understand once you really understand what what they want and who they are. It's just that us as guys, we're very efficient. Okay, we have separate brains, and I would like to say that we have separate brains, and what she says sometimes doesn't make any sense to us. So what does it mean? Understand her language, she's yours. Okay, she's yours. If it's not her, it's gonna be somebody else. You're gonna be a hot commodity. Okay, now willingness to be vulnerable. Okay, when a woman feels safe, she's more likely to open up emotionally and share her thoughts and her feelings. That's what you want. You want to allow her to open up to you. That's what you want. This is why we must learn to practice infinite patience. Us as guys, we have to practice infinite patience. Ask good questions. Learn how to open her up. Okay, so questions like when she's talking, don't leave anything out. Tell me more. What else? Like those are great things to ask. What else? What else? What else happened? Really, like really sit there and pay attention. Now, slide number 2 is providing the safety. Okay, so emotional security. She doesn't need to doubt how you feel about her. You let her know. You're not overly smothering her. Oh my God, I love you so much. Okay, but you're letting her know you care about her. You're there. She's not doubting your love to her or for her. But from time to time, like I said, feminine energy is a little chaotic. Y'all know it. Y'all a little crazy. You laugh about it. You know it's true. But from time to time, she might feel a little uncertain. She's not sure. That's part of feminine energy, is to feel uncertain. But she comes to you for that feeling of safety and certainty because you're that rock. But if you're not that rock and she comes to you and you're that little board that's floating in the ocean and she comes to you and you don't even know, then you get mad and you get upset and you start arguing. You're relaying that feedback back to her that you don't understand her, that you don't understand where she's coming from. You don't speak her language. She's trying to explain it to you. You're like, I hear you. And yeah, it's no good. Okay, so it's our job to understand her. And you're like, Mitchell, why is it our job to do all this? Well, it's just the way it is, okay? We're men, we're leaders, we have to understand. And if you understand other people, you're gonna have more people that want you more, okay? You at least have more options. Guys that complain, that talks down about women, they don't really have that many good options. They might get attainable success. They might be able to sleep with a lot of women. But it doesn't, like, those are, to me, those are just weak men that don't understand both sides. It's important to understand how to convey your interests, get to know her, but it's also really important to understand how you're going to sustain that relationship, how you're going to maintain that relationship. That is a person with good, in my opinion, that's good character, that understands both sides, not just the attraction, but the whole courting phase. So, moving on. Let's see. So she comes to you for this feeling of safety and certainty, so that she can feel accepted and loved without being fear of being judged or being criticized. She doesn't want that. So what does it mean? It just means that when she comes to you or she's expressing a certain feeling, it is our job to validate her feelings, okay? You never want to invalidate her feelings. You don't want to do that. The moment you start to invalidate her feelings, say for example, you're at work, there's a meeting, okay? You know, she might even know that, okay? She might even know that you're in a meeting, but she calls you. Now, you're not in the right mindset. You have more distractions now because she's calling you, and you're like, you don't pick up, and she calls you again, and you're like, okay, she's calling me twice. It has to be important, so you pick up. And she's like, oh, I just miss you. Like, she's feeling uncertain and things like that. Or, you know, and it could be for a variety of reasons, okay? Maybe something back at home, and she needs your advice, but it's not a good time. Or she just misses you, whatever it is. And then you basically tell her, like, hey, you know I'm at work. Why do you keep doing this? Blah, 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 blah. what it just means to her is that you're communicating that nothing's gonna change. I'm not gonna do anything different. I don't understand you, and this is gonna stay the same. Everything's just gonna stay the same. And that's not what she wants. She wants to come to you because you're the rock, you're the leader, you're the person that makes a decision. So, like I said, to take the mental load off of her. It is our job to do that. And if we could understand that and just continue to do it, you're gonna have a very happy, healthy relationship. Okay, assuming that she's a happy, healthy, normal person. When a woman says that she wants a man that makes her feel safe, it's called physically. Is that code for a physically larger, muscular man? No, I mean it helps to be larger physical. I'll get into that. But there's, you don't have to be the tallest guy. You know, you don't have to be a CEO of a company. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay, what really matters is you could have unrealized potential, meaning that you understand you're working towards a direction where you want to be. You have a goal, you have a focus, you have a mission in life. This is where I want to be in about 5, 10, 20 years. I'm not gonna stop. That is very attractive to her. If you know what you want to do and you continue doing it and you become great at it, especially because you like doing it, you're only gonna be great at it. That is your mission and purpose in life. And then on top of that, when she comes to you, you give her attention, you make sure that her needs are met. She's not going to think about getting rid of you. And also, you don't want to lose the physical side, because when your physiology starts to change, you start to, let's just say, for example, you start eating more processed food, you stop taking care of yourself, you stop going to the gym, you're getting this beer belly, this dad bod, if you will. Once the physiology starts to bring you down, everything else usually starts to permeate into those areas of your life too. So your career, you're not as serious about it. It's our job to always improve ourselves. That is what is attractive to her. On top of that, by conveying that you understand her, she's not gonna get rid of you. I could guarantee you, okay? And also, I have a lot of guys that come to me that tells me that they don't get enough late night Olympics in the bedroom. Like, it might happen once a month or things like that, or once every couple months. And then they talk about it's like, look, your chances are, like I said, it's more likely that it's an attraction issue. It's something that you're doing or lack of, and that's something we have to figure out. You have to figure that out, okay? And it requires a lot of talking and communicating with the right coach. So if you guys do have any questions about that, come to, send me a message, okay? Now, where was I? Let's see. Okay, trust and reliability, okay? Knowing that the guy is dependable, okay? That she could depend on him. She could depend on him. And he's honest, and he won't intentionally hurt or betray her. That is where safety comes in, okay? Now, you still have to do what you have to do as a guy. As a man, you have to focus on the things that you have to do, okay? So if my mission and my purpose is to work on these, for example, these slides that I do for you guys, so that I could talk to you. And my girl is like, oh, yeah, I miss you. I want to talk to you. You're always working. You always do this. I don't get enough time. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to be upset. I'm just going to take that as she wants my attention. I have to give her that. Right now is not the best time because I have to do the things that I have to do. But tell you what, babe, how about in a few hours, I'll take a break and we would do this and we would do that. And then, but I still have to go back to the things that I need to do, but I'll take a break and I come back. And once I'm done with that, I could spend more time with you. We could both watch a movie or something. We could cuddle up, or we could do something, right? That is how you can make her feel more certain about you, because I'm there to provide that safety, that rock in the ocean, so that she can understand that I'm not going anywhere. I'm just a little bit busy, but I'll come back to you. Just give me some time. And she knows that. Then she's a little impatient. She's like, I wish you could just hurry up and finish. I know, I get it. I understand. But, this great things takes time. And, I'm pretty great. And, you can have some fun with it, right? You can have some fun with it. Okay, now, Yeah, so it means that, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do first, but it doesn't mean that you drop everything so that you could so that you can make her feel a certain way. It's like, it really depends on the condition. You have to understand like the situation. If it's an emergency, absolutely, you gotta take care of that. But if she's just like, oh, I'm a little, okay, well, I have to do the things I have to do. Like, this is very important. Okay, this is how I have a roof over our head. This is how you could eat. This is how you can have so much boba. Okay, I'd love to get you some more boba. Would you like a boba? You want me to pick up a boba drink after work? Would that make you a little bit happy? Okay, then she has something to look forward to. Okay, so now, someone who has integrity, means what he says, has a purpose, has a mission in life. These are all very, very important things. You still have to understand how to have fun. You still have to understand that as a guy, you're not there to take things too serious. Okay, now, respect and boundaries. Okay, in all healthy relationships, you must set and enforce healthy boundaries. Every healthy relationship has it, and it's not there to scare them away. It's just, you're just letting them know, like, these are things that I just don't tolerate. Whatever you don't tolerate, whatever it is, you just let them know. You like, these are things I don't tolerate. Okay, it's like, I'm totally okay with you going. You may have guy friends. I trust you enough that if his intentions, he has ill intent that could ruin our relationship, that I trust you enough to shut that down. Okay, but it also means that you're not gonna go on late night dates, or not dates, or late night dinners with a guy. Like, there's certain things that you just don't want to cross. Now, because why? Because most things happen at night, and if you get a little bit of alcohol, you spend a little, things might happen. Okay, things might happen. But if you're like, hey, you know what, I don't mind you going on lunch. Like, if you guys want to set up a lunch, you guys want to hang out, you guys been friends for a long time, he's not trying to get into your pants and you know it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I trust you enough. I wouldn't be in a relationship if I didn't trust you. So I trust you enough to make the right judgment. But you let her know. So it's not like, oh, if you ever do this, I'm gonna leave you. It's like, then that's a threat. You're not trying to threaten. Never threaten the relationship. The moment you threaten the relationship, that is what causes most relationships to fall apart. Okay, so rule number 1, never threaten the relationship. Never threaten a person to leave them. If you did, I'm gonna leave you. Or, there's a lot of people that just don't do it. Just don't threaten the relationship. Okay, it's one of the worst things that you can do to any relationship is when you threaten it. Now, there's a difference between threatening and just setting boundaries. Okay, like, I just won't tolerate this. And you let them know, and there's a difference. I wouldn't want to be with somebody that does this, because it doesn't, you're not making me feel more like I could trust you if someone did this. Okay, so, and that's up to you. It's your own digression. Okay, so open communication and honesty. Open communication and honesty. So you're providing the safety for her. So communication is key to any relationship. We all know that communication is key. People said it time after time. Okay, and it's gonna stick around for a very long time. So how you communicate now is what's going to make a difference, because I've seen a lot of guys that all they do is just they talk all over her. He needs to display confidence, assertiveness. It's like, no, if you don't allow her to talk, she doesn't feel heard. She's not going to want to be around you. Eventually, she's going to leave. Everybody has a breaking point, and that threshold might not be then, but a year, 2, 3 years from now, and she's like, I'm fed up with your ass. She's going to leave you. And, a lot of guys wouldn't want to work on themselves now, but they will always try to find a solution. Here's my cat. You hear my cat? She just had lunch. Okay. Anyways, so the ability to be vulnerable, and so that she could express herself openly without fear of judgment and being criticized, that's very important. Okay, women need to talk about the problems to solve it. men, we just need to sit back and listen. Sounds simple, but it's not, because like I said, guys, masculine men, we like to solve problems, okay? We like to be efficient, and I get it. But her efficiency is talking about it, okay? Let her talk about it. If you want her to feel good, let her talk. Is that realistic though? Don't we all basically judge everyone for anything they say or do? What do you mean by that though? Are we talking about her feelings, or are we talking about how we solve problems? Okay, let's see. Protection and support, okay? You can't be weak. So in terms of physical strength, okay, you can't be a weak dude. I mean, you are who you are, okay? I'm only like, what, 5'5", 5'6"? I'm not gonna push 300 pounds. I don't think I need to push 300 pounds, but I'm not gonna sit there and let another person talk shit about my girl. I'm gonna stand up for her, okay? It doesn't mean that I'm gonna go out there and start fight. I'm gonna approach it. I'm be like, hey, yo, don't talk about my girl like that. Or what you gonna do? I'm not gonna do anything because I'm smarter than that. I'm not gonna try to lay my hands on. Now, if he's throwing, you know, I gotta protect myself. So what does it mean? Maybe you might need to take a class or two in martial arts. Learn a little something. Learn how to defend yourself a little bit. But it doesn't mean that you go out there and you start fights. Okay? A man must learn how to pick and choose his battles. Okay? You gotta learn how to pick and choose your battles. Here's an example. If there's road ragers and it's just you and your girl, but then there's a car full of dudes, okay? There's 4 dudes. It's just you and your girl. Think about that fight. Think about that. Is it really weak to just be like, hey, you know what? You're right. My bad. Let me step away. You're right. You're right. Or do you have something to prove? And then get your ass whooped by 4 dudes that won't let you go, okay? That will chase you down. Think about that. Think about those fights. Pick and choose your battles, okay? Also, authenticity and self-expression, okay? Being able to be true to herself is really important to her, okay? So you want her to feel like she could be carefree, so she doesn't have to hide or pretend to be someone that she's not around you, so that she could tolerate. That is what the definition of tolerating is. It's like, okay, I'll just do this just enough, right? Just enough so that I could tolerate you, but I'm not gonna give it my all in a relationship. And that's where complacency will start to settle in most relationships. And it happens to the best of us. It even happens to me. But like I said, it is my job to audit that. It's like, I have to look at her level of interest. She could say a lot of things, and that's great. Those are good things. But I'm always gonna bottom line her actions. What is she doing? What is she not doing? What is she doing less of? Or what is she doing more of? That will give me a scale understanding how her level of interest is. Because if she's starting to be a little bit more distant, she doesn't want to talk to me as much, she seems a little bit annoyed every time I open my mouth, something is happening. Like, that's a good enough feedback loop to let you know, hey, something's happening. She's a little cold. She's a little distant. She doesn't want to talk to me. Hey, baby, what's wrong? It's my job to open her back up again. That's my cue, okay? But it's your job to pick that up. And so, like I said, every week, every 2 weeks, do a little self-audit. Sit back. Give yourself 5 minutes. How is she? Is she saying I love you more? Is she doing more things? Like, what is she? Where's she at? Because if you care about the relationship, spending 5 minutes once every, 2 weeks, it's not going to hurt it, okay? Now, emotional stability and empathy. So the number one most important thing for women is to feel heard and understood, okay? Most relationship falls apart because she doesn't feel heard and understood, and the guy stops dating and courting her. When you stop dating and courting your woman, it makes her feel like she's not being appreciated, that she's not gonna have a lot of fun. And if she does decide to bring that up to you, well, you want to set a date. Because like I said, if you convey to her and you yell at her and you complain, you're just saying that nothing's ever gonna change. Everything's gonna stay the same, and it's just the way it is here on out. And she doesn't want to be in that type of way, in that type of space where she feels like she needs to grab you all the time and nothing will come out of it. So like I said, it's a good thing that she wants your attention. It's a good sign because she wants you. Like I said, there's levels to it. If she's blowing up your phone, you're at work, and she's like, she's not, she, there's a level of craziness. That's what I'm saying, okay? There's a level of craziness. You just have to understand, what are you willing to tolerate, okay? So feeling heard and understood, being supported, especially during difficult times. So a great indicator of a lasting relationship is not about all the great times you have. It's not about the highs. It's about how you can handle the lows in the relationship. That is a much better predictor of a longer lasting, healthy relationship than having just great times. I'm not saying that having great times is not important. Having great times is very important. But I'm also saying that you're gonna clash eventually. And when that does happen, you guys have to learn how to communicate. You have to take a step back and listen and not try to solve her problems. If she feels a certain way, why? Listen to her. That's important. So, emotional stability. But to be fair, we men aren't supposed to be too open to women. Like, we can't talk about our work. I really like this. Okay, so I have to elaborate on this. Like, we can't talk about our worries or problems, traumas, because they're women and they'll get more anxious and think of you less. Absolutely. Okay, so here's my thoughts on this, okay? You're not there. You're in that relationship to be the man that leads. It doesn't mean that us as men, we do not come across obstacles. And when we come across obstacles, when things, when we feel like, damn, like life feels stuck, I don't know what to do. It is still our job to figure out a way. Now, this is why having great friends that you could confide in, having a confidant, maybe talk to a therapist, whatever it may be, go talk to a tree. Okay, if you have to. I wouldn't judge you. If you have some shit, if you need to talk to a tree, and I'm like, he needs to let it out before he lets it out on her, right? Do that, okay? But like I said, it doesn't mean that you hold away your problems, okay? It doesn't mean you hide it. It doesn't have to be a secret. You could talk about it. You'd be like, hey, babe, like, I'm having a little bit more of a difficult time than usual. Like, as you may know, my job isn't exactly going the way I want it. I don't really see things improving in this place and whatever it may be. Bottom line is, the most important thing is that I will figure it out. I'm not going to put that on you. What does it mean? It means that my problems is not going to be your problems. I know it might affect you because I'm not mentally, physically there sometimes. And maybe I have to pick up an extra shift or whatever it may be. Just understand that there's certain things that I have to do. You're not my mommy and you are not my therapist. Do not use your woman as your mommy and your therapist. She is your lover. And it stays like that. Okay? Do you understand that? You could talk about it. I talk about my problems. I come across problems. I'm like, I'm pissed off of certain things, okay? And that's okay. But we're supposed to be their therapist. You're there to listen. You're there to understand. Okay? You're not there to solve her problems, but you have to understand, men and women solve problems differently. Whenever I'm pissed off and I don't want to talk to nobody, guess where I'm going, okay? I'm in front of my computer. I'm playing my games. I'm in my AKA bachelor pad, okay? I want to be left alone. I don't want to talk. I will solve my problems eventually. I will figure it out. That's not me saying I hate you and I don't want to talk to you. I just need space. And I need you to understand that I need space. And it's not personal. It's just that this is how I solve my problems. And I will eventually come back to you. Okay? I think it depends on a woman. We want to have two-way streets in a relationship. We want men to come to us when they need to talk about anything. Yes, but it's also that you're not there to dump the load onto her and have her figure it out. So There's a very, very fine line, okay? Now, like I said, if you have friends that you could talk to that won't leak your, your discomfort and your obstacles, like what's really going on. Like I have a friend, he comes to me and he'd be like, dude, man, like this is what's going on in my relationship and blah blah blah. And I'm there, and I know that, look, right now he's at a weak point. I'm there to listen. Is it more feminine energy from him? Yes, it is. When you speak, when you talk about your feelings, it is very feminine. But like I said, us as men, it doesn't mean that because you have more masculine energy, it doesn't mean that you don't have any feminine energy. Feminine energy is really important for us. Why? Because it's part of creativity. That is how, like, think about it in terms of this. When you're trying to be more creative and think of certain way, you're thinking, okay? You're trying to figure things out so that you're like, okay, being creative, that's feminine. It's very feminine to start creating certain things. Like for me, when I'm thinking about a dance, I'm like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It's more of a feminine type of energy. What comes out of it is a very masculine type of leadership, because I love dancing. That's just what I like to do. And when I dance, I get to perform that. I'm the leader on that stage. I know how to convey that. And I have confidence that I could do it. And it's like, it's attractive because why? You can see it. Mitchell enjoys dancing. Mitchell likes doing it. He's unapologetic about it. And I'm going to go after what I want to do. But it requires both. It doesn't mean that I don't have any feminine energy. Think about feminine energy as it helps smooth out the edges of being too masculine, because when most guys listen to what masculine energy is, it's like, oh, we have to be assertive, we have to know this, we have to like control, like it becomes overly possessive, and you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that type of guy where, oh, you have to listen to me, it's my way or the highway. It's like, that's not what masculine energy is. That's what insecurity sounds like. A masculine guy knows how to take a step back and allow her to come and go as she pleases, while setting and enforcing healthy boundaries, because it's like letting her free. It's like, just go. I know you're not going anywhere. Why? Because she's not gonna find another guy like me. Like, that's that type of confidence that you have to have for yourself. And if she does want to go out and sleep with somebody else and betray your trust, you have no doubt that you could take a step back and be like, that's not for me. I put my trust in the wrong person. I have to take responsibility on that. But I will eventually be okay. I'm heartbroken, but I will eventually be okay, because I know what I have is valuable, and I could always find somebody else that will truly appreciate what I could offer. That is confidence. That is knowing that love will always be there, and I don't have to doubt, oh, finding real love is difficult. I don't have to ever worry about that, because I know what I could bring to the table. So how can you have that type of confidence when you look around, see other men who are bigger, taller, better looking, richer, etc.? Isn't that essentially deluding yourself? No, absolutely not. There's always going to be someone bigger than me. There's always going to be someone that has more money than me, but none of that is going to phase me, because my goal in life is to focus on the things that I need to do. There's my mission and my purpose, okay? That's all I have to focus on. If I depend on my bank account, how I look, and the stories that I'm constantly telling myself that I'm not good enough, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, it's going to display a lot of weakness in my behaviors, in my demeanor, in the way I talk, and the things I say. So I have to stand true to what I am at. I'm only focusing on the things that I need to do to become better. And let's just say I'm single, which I'm not, but let's just say I'm single, and I see someone that is attractive, but she sees another guy that's 6 foot tall, has a lot more money, is a lot more successful than me, or whatever, right? Okay, then let her be. There's plenty of other people out there that will want me. That's not gonna phase me. So you kind of want to be that guy that's kind of like the charming type of James Bond. Okay, that's what my coach says all the time. He's like, you want to be that guy that's a charming James Bond. You're only there, you're having a great time. You're not worried about anything else, about other people having this and that. You're just here to have a good time. And if she feels a great time with you and she associates that good time with you, she's not really gonna care about how much more money and how much more richer and whatever. Like I know women that are very, very good looking, okay? Nice body, everything, okay? Very attractive, that has turned down men because they have a lot of money, you know? And it's because usually most of the time they don't know how to act and they don't know how to behave in a way that becomes more attractive. I display things that is attractive. And so they will want me, but I also lay it down. I'm in a relationship. I'm not gonna do that. That's not me. I'm not gonna put my relationship in jeopardy because she wants me, or because when you become more sure of yourself and you know the things that you want, more people is going to want that, because it's like, damn, this person knows what he wants and he goes after it. He's happy. He's excited about life. And I've said this before. It's like you want to have something that you're excited about, because it's really difficult to have someone be excited for you if you're not even excited about the things that you're doing. So I wake up every day and I focus on what I could protect on my own and how I could express it in certain ways where I enjoy my life. And life has strange ways of stepping aside. When you finally know what you want and what you're willing to protect, and you know the time that you give to certain people, that you no longer start to you no longer tolerate different people that no longer appreciates your time. Like there's certain people that waste my time that are tire kickers. I'm like, don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. I wouldn't waste yours. Let's not waste each other's time. Let me know if you're really interested in things like that. Okay. So it's like, it's really knowing what you want and going after that. I hope that helps. Let me see what else. What was I? Okay. So emotional stability and empathy. Okay. So yeah, having emotional regulation, okay, that's really important in a relationship as a guy, because if you act erratic, you don't learn to understand your emotions, and if things don't go your way and you get mad and upset, behind anger is always fear. Okay? So if you're angry about something, usually you're fearful of something, okay? You're usually fearful of something, and it requires a little bit of deeper thinking into diving into the whys and things like that. But behind anger is fear. So the next time you start to raise your voice because you're upset about something, you're fearful of something. Okay. Now, desire to love and be loved. Okay, I'm gonna expedite this a little bit, so you could write, but I'm just gonna go over my 2 other slides, which is desire to be loved, to love and be loved. Okay, all women have a desire in a relationship to feel protected. We talked about that. Protected. Okay, that's why a lot of women, they like to date a lot of bad boys, because bad boys give this type of illusion that he has a sense of direction. She doesn't know that, but up front, damn, he's confident. He's coming to me. He knows what he wants. He stands up for her, things like that. He goes after it. Damn, I think you're fine as shit. I want to get to know you. Whatever, right? He doesn't care. He doesn't care if you're gonna reject him. He's just gonna move on and not let it bother him. That is what's attractive, okay? It's confidence. So he's persistent. He goes after what he wants and he pursues her, okay? Which, like I said, it displays a lot of confidence, and that's what she's attractive to. The number one most important thing to any woman, or the most attractive thing to any woman, is confidence. Going after what you want. So what she realizes later is that all these great attributes that he has of like being this upfront, he's a leader, he goes after what he wants. But later on, maybe few months into the relationship or whatever, he doesn't really understand her. So doesn't know how to make her feeling last in the relationship. So like attraction goes down. Why? Because like I said, if you act like a bitch, she's gonna treat you like a bitch. So you displaying less attractive behaviors, you having arguments, you don't listen to her, you don't date her, you don't court her. Why? Because you already got what you wanted, right? You already got what you wanted. I don't need to work on this anymore. Wrong. Okay, you got to make sure you date and court your woman, and you open her up by making her she feels heard and understood. So then now you're arguing, you're doing all these things that is very unattractive, which causes her to feel more unsure about you. Okay, she's unsure. She's like, oh no, he was very confident. That was very hot. That was very attractive. All she thought about was sitting on his face. And then now she's like, oh, all he does is yell. I don't know. She's unsure now. Okay. And then now that you don't understand what it takes to maintain that type of attraction, to maintain that attraction for her. So like I said, if she doesn't feel connected towards you, she will eventually leave you for somebody else. So like I said, she's unsure about the relationship, if it's good for her or not. But like I said, at first glance, it was very like, damn, he displays a lot of confidence. Okay. Now, feminine energy wants to feel protected, provided for, and being taken care of. So it is a part of feminine energy to bond. Feminine energy is about bonding, connecting, focusing on relationship labels. That's on her. You don't have to really worry about where she stands with you as a guy, the masculine guy. I don't need to worry about that. Why? Because I'm confident in myself that why else she wouldn't want anybody else. She will want me. But it takes time to understand, to level up to this, okay? So what are we supposed to do? Hold on, sorry. What are we supposed to do? By the way, these are really great questions. What are we supposed to do if not argue? Deliberately lose just to keep the peace? What about inner self-respect? Our feelings of these are bigger words than I could pronounce when we could stand up for ourselves. Okay, so absolutely not. So it doesn't mean you're a doormat, okay? It means that, look, there's certain things that I don't agree with you. Sometimes you might have to agree to disagree, which is why it is really important to learn to date and vet your prospects. So the best relationships are the ones that align with similar goals and similar values. If you have similar values, you both value similar things like respect, communication. How do you solve your problems? That's a really good question. Do you yell? Because if you yell, I'm not going to really have a good relationship with you, because if you yell, it means that you're not listening. And when you're not listening, all you care is about yourself. So it's not going to work. There are a lot of people, okay? Your parents themselves are people, okay? So whatever they're doing, they're not always doing it right too, okay? I know we look up to them as they're our heroes when we were kids, but we have to understand they're people themselves. They make mistakes, and it's our job to learn from those mistakes, okay? So it doesn't mean that you deliberately lose, because you have to understand you have to come from a place of strength versus coming from a place of weakness. Okay, that is something that you have to learn and understand. It's like, look, I don't agree with you in that situation, and then I have to really refocus or recalibrate, and like, well, if she thinks that is not cheating, but you think it is, and she wants to continue doing that, you just have to set your foot down. You'd be like, that's something that we should have talked about in a relationship before we got into one. That's something that I missed, and it is important. It is important. Okay, now, like, there's certain things that everybody knows what is considered cheating. Okay, sleeping with another person is cheating. Okay, we all know that. But some people are like, well, talking to somebody isn't cheating. Oh, that's just a friend. Okay, what is your level of cheating? Okay, then you talk about that. Then you have understand goals and values. What are your value system? And so if you're like, that's not what I'm willing to tolerate, that's not okay with me, you have to set your foot down. You just have to be like, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. To me, that is cheating, and that is not something that I could stand for. So you set your foot down, but you don't argue about it. You let her decide. Well, do I care about Mitchell enough, or Samayan? Okay. Do I care about Samayan? Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Enough where I could set that aside because I don't want to lose this man. Because this man is a good man. Because he just told me that this is not something that he's willing to tolerate. Well, is that really cheating? Is it? I don't know. But if she cares about you and loves you enough, and you're, like I said, you're a good man, she's not going to want to lose that. Okay? So it's your job to build yourself up, to have integrity, to say what you mean what you say. And if that means that that is it, set your foot down. Doesn't mean you have to yell at her about it. You'd be like, that's not something I tolerate. If you want to continue doing that, I'm not going to be a part of that. So what does it mean? It means that I'm going to step away from that relationship. That's not me threatening it. I'm just letting you know that's not what I'm willing to tolerate. And if she's yelling at you, you could say, because she's in the wrong or whatever, right? Or what you think it's in her wrong, then you just be like, hey, look, what you're doing right now, you're yelling at me, you're screaming, it's very unattractive to me, and it's not very loving, and we're not getting anything across. You're not communicating to me. When you're ready to communicate like an adult and want to talk to me, I'll be here to talk to you. But right now, this is not the right time. So, do you need more time, or can we talk about this? That is setting your foot down. So it's not about let her win so that you keep the peace. Don't ever do that. Stand up for what you believe in. You could disagree. You shouldn't argue. I hope that separates the difference for you. Okay, let's see. Where did I leave off? Okay, the bad boy. Feelings last. Okay, so if she's unsure about you, if she's unsure of the relationship is good for her, displaying confidence. Okay, this is where I was at. Woman wants a man to hold her feminine energy and protect it, okay? So that she can feel safe and express herself. But if he starts displaying weakness, okay? If he starts displaying weak behaviors, he lacks direction. He doesn't know where he wants to go anymore, right? He's unable to pick himself back up. Now, this could be, you could be in a relationship for 3 years. You could be in a relationship for 30, 40, 50 years. It doesn't matter, okay? Eventually, if you don't pick yourself back up, she is going to find somebody else. Why? Because you're weak. That is weak. If you don't change anything, like, there's a difference between, like, damn, like, I'm in a shitty position, but I'll get out of it. I always do. I eventually find a way out. It might not look pretty, but I find a way out, okay? We can make it together. You find and you work towards it and you try. That's all you could do. And if she can't see that, she's probably not the right person for you. Probably not, okay? But like I said, you have about 6 months to 12 months, 6 months to a year to pick yourself back up, depending on her level of interest as well, right? 6 to 12 months, and if you don't fix it, eventually you will face with a consequence that is not in your favor. It's just the way it is. She might leave you. You're like, damn, we spent all these time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. How she feels for you right there and then is only for that time. There's no rollovers, okay? If she said, I love you 1-2 weeks ago, and you're this guy like, damn, she told me she loved me, and then now all of a sudden she's mad and upset, her feelings is present, okay? You can't take what she says 1 or 2 weeks ago to what she feels now. It's like looking at the weather from last week. You'd be like, damn, it was sunny last week. Yeah, it was, but it's not now. It's as simple as that. You talk to the camera. That's nice. You look at us. I try my best to. Okay. But like I said, if you act like a bitch, she's going to treat you like a bitch. Okay. Lastly, and I want to talk about trust, okay? Because a lot of people lacks trust, and you know, that's something that I'm going to get into. So stay with me, okay? So the last slide is called closed off, okay? If she's closed off. If feminine energy is closed off, she will not open up, okay? She becomes more cold, she becomes more distant. That's when she's stepping into more of her masculine. She doesn't want to do anything with you. She's a bitch sometimes. So she could be cranky, or she just be giving you the cold shoulder and things like that, okay? It's our job to open her up. It's our job to open her up. Now, you might argue, Mitchell, what if she doesn't talk? Yeah, that's not the right person for you, okay? That's emotional abuse. That is not right. That is not very loving. And that is not how you solve problems. I get it. You're upset and you don't want to talk right now. We have to talk eventually, because if you don't talk, this is not going to work out. You have to understand that. I'm not threatening you. This is just the way it is. Do you want a happy, healthy, lasting, loving relationship? Okay, if you do, then we have to talk about things, because I'm trying to talk to you and you're being a little stuck up about it. Let's figure this out. We have to figure this out. You gotta set your foot down sometimes, okay? So, if you have someone in your life where you don't feel safe and you don't feel protected, you're not gonna open up. She's not gonna wanna open up. In a relationship that has a masculine and feminine polarity, woman needs to feel safe, okay? Feminine energy needs to feel safe. She needs to trust in herself and her choices so that she could express herself, being carefree, being true to herself. She's authentic, okay? Women want a man to hold her feminine energy so she feels safe to express it. So, like I said, it's our job to open her up mentally so she could be herself, free of judgment, free of criticism, okay? Be the man that understands how to open her up, and she will be yours. That is something that you have to learn. You have to learn how to open her up by asking good quality questions. What else? Tell me more. Don't leave anything out. I noticed that you've been a little bit distant lately. What's going on? What's bothering you? Talk to me. Your feelings matter to me, so I want to understand. Because if she's cold and distant, there's a reason for that, okay? Unless you're dealing with a nut job, okay? If she's crazy, she's cuckoo, there's nothing that you could do, okay? Like I said, it's your job to align yourself with the right person. It's not your job to change that person. So we all must choose our partners carefully. Not choosing the right person will cause a lot of mess, okay? A lot of heartaches. So for example, an example is, because I know a lot of people like this. They're not happy with themselves. So they're like, damn, if I'm in a relationship, I'll be happy. Which is like 90% of the people on dating apps, right? I could be wrong. I'm just making that number up, right? But most people on dating apps, they're not really happy. They just, they don't really know what they want. They're like, hey, if I have a boyfriend, if I have a girlfriend, I'll be happy. So now, being with someone who isn't really fully there, that's not really there to build, like to better themselves, who isn't even emotionally available, it's like, you can't force love. It has to come naturally, okay? But you could do things to help facilitate that a little bit quicker. If you do everything right, usually within 6 to 8 weeks, she's gonna start saying I love you, okay? That's just the way it is. If you play your cards right and you do everything right, you make her feel heard, understood, you date, court, you have great sex, she's gonna want you. She's gonna want you, okay? And like I said, feminine energy, it's about bonding and connecting and relationship labels. So us as guys, what do you have to do? All you have to focus on is hang out, having fun, and hooking up. That's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about locking her down into a relationship because you like her so much that you want her to be yours. Okay, I understand what you see in Hollywood, that the guy chases her and you don't need to do all that. If you do everything right, she's not going to want to lose you, okay? Do you think it's a good idea to talk to a woman as friends in a hopeful relationship? No, absolutely not. Let them know. Hey, I find you interesting. I find you attractive. I want to get to know you a little bit more. Do you have time this weekend? Do you have time next week? When are you available? I want to take you out. I want to take you out to dinner. Okay, do you think a man and woman can just be friends? Yeah, I have plenty of friends that are women. So, where was I? Choose a partners carefully. Okay, so example was being with someone who isn't emotionally available. Another example is Someone who isn't really sure of themselves because they have past traumas. They're overly jealous. They're insecure. Okay, like those are not your problems. That's their problem. Now, it's up to you. Do you want to stay in that? But it's not your job to change that. You can help. You could lead them to the right direction, but it's up to them to change. You can only provide open communication, and you can only give as much trust as you can to not betray that trust. Because like I said, it's kind of like a glass. Once it breaks, it's hard to puzzle. Even if you put it all back together, back of her mind, she's gonna be like, damn, or the other way around, right? Like if a woman cheats on a man, like the number one most important thing to us guys is loyalty. Can you talk about idealizing someone? Why is that dangerous? It's because you look at them with rose-colored glasses. You look at them that they can't do no wrong. Everything they do is right. Like it's what my other coach says. You overvalue chemistry. And it's usually kind of one-sided too, okay? You overvalue chemistry, but you undervalue character. You always look at what a person does, not what they say. So you bottom line their actions. That's the most important thing. You bottom line their actions. What are they doing? What are they constantly doing? Okay? So it's not about looking and making them like they're a god that they could do no wrong. They're still people. Okay? Because I fell into the illusion of that when I really liked someone and I thought that person could do no wrong. But then, I gained a little bit of experience. I educated myself. I started applying the things, and I had to really sit back and think back. I'm like, this person was a really, really nice person. This person was a really kind, loving person. But if I have to judge her based off her actions, she decided that she didn't want me at the end of the day, and that is what happens. And women vote with their feet. If she's not with you, she's not for you. So I had to, this is the quote. You could ignore reality. You could ignore the fact that what she did is like, no, she didn't do that on purpose. She still loves me, but she's not with you no more. She said she doesn't want to be with you. She needs more time and space away from you. That's not very loving. So you could ignore reality, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. So the consequence is you're delusional, okay? You're gonna be hurt. Why? Because she's still not with you and she doesn't want to be with you. So you can ignore it, but you can't ignore the consequences that comes with it. So the pain's still gonna be there, okay? So it's our job to not be delusional, to not look at them through rose-colored glasses, because eventually you have to understand the tint will fade and true colors will show through action. Okay, so I want to talk about trust, and after this, I'm gonna end it. All right, so there's a difference, and I understand that there's a lot of people that's been hurt out there, that's been traumatized and things like that, and things happen to people. And when things happen to us, it's our job to fix it ourselves, okay? It's not our job to put it on somebody else. And that's something that we all have to work on, okay? Some people have great loving families and they were raised right. There's a mom, there's a dad. Mom respects dad. Dad is very good at understanding mom, keeps her needs met and things like that, makes her happy, loving family. That's great. Sounds ideal. We could say that's unfair, okay? But life is unfair, and that's just the way it is, and that's how we have to understand that, okay? Can you talk about it? Okay. Why we ignore reality? Where does it come? I'll answer that in a bit. So now what I want to say is that we're not there to complete each other, okay? It's not a 50-50 adding up to 100%. Please do not ever do that. That is not how a healthy relationship starts. A happy, healthy relationship starts with someone that's, hey, you know what? I'm not perfect. I'm working on myself, and this is how I'm gonna do it. And I'm not mad, and I'm not upset about the world. I'm just raised in a way where I have a lot of things to work on, and that's okay. And so you work on becoming better every single day, and then little by little, You become more complete. More complete. It doesn't mean you're 100%. You become more complete. Now, when you are working on yourself to become more complete, more at peace, you're there to share each other's completeness with each other. You're not there to complete each other. You're there to share each other's completeness. And I think that gets, misinterpreted so much in this world where, oh, I need you to feel good about myself. That's where codependency is, and that's not what you want, okay? So happy, healthy relationships are there to share each other's completeness, because I'm here. I could give you everything in the world, but if you're not happy with yourself, that is just going, like, a relationship is only there to amplify how you already feel. So if you're not there and you're unhappy and you're depending on me to be your source of happiness, that's not where it ends. It's not how it's not going to end well. So you have to work on yourself. Okay. Now I want that trust. There's a difference. There's a difference between not being able to trust someone and not trusting them. Okay. Huge difference. Both not good. But not being able to trust is due to past traumas. Oh, I can't trust people. People are out there to hurt me. So you always look at the cup half. Is it half full? Half empty. Is that? Yeah. It's like you're always looking at the world like it's against you. Things happen to you. All these things happen to me. I can't trust. I gotta protect myself. Okay. It's usually because of past traumas. Not trusting someone is because they give you a reason not to trust them. Okay. And I want you guys to understand the difference between that. And if you don't trust, if you're not able to trust people, then that's some past traumas that you have to work on. Why don't I? How come it's so hard for me to give people trust, to let go a little bit? Why? Because you're hurt. You've been hurt and you don't know how to work on that. Well, there's ways to protect yourself, and it's your job to work on that. Okay. Not trusting someone, you just like, damn, this person is not trustworthy. Every single time I do something, I say something, this person, and I tell them not to say it, they go and tell somebody else. I can't trust you. That's an example. Okay. Now, like I said, both are harmful. But you have to understand though that doors that keep away disappointment also keeps away happiness. So if you're always there to protect yourself, I don't want to be on dates. I don't like men. I don't like women, whatever. Right. Like there's a lot of missed opportunities. So I encourage you guys to always give love another chance, but there's ways to do it. And it doesn't mean you go in blindly. Okay. And it's also good to be like I said, it's always good to be on your guard. You want to trust but verify, set and enforce healthy boundaries. And it's all about balance. It's all about having a proper balance. And one thing is, I don't want you guys to live in fear. Okay, if you're fearful of like, oh, there's someone that's gonna hurt me and things like that, like there are people like that, and that's okay. But I don't want you to live in fear. Take the good with the bad, because not everybody is out there to hurt you. Okay. Now, that is my show. Let me read this. And I have a summary that I'm just gonna read over. Okay. Why we ignore reality. Because most of us can't stand the fact that if we face it, then what we believed is all false. So think of it like this. Like, I don't know if this is a great example. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. All right. Say, for example, past traumas, right? Let's talk about past traumas. That you see mommy and daddy, okay? Mom and dad, you're a little kid. Mom and dad always argues. They yell, they scream. But every now and then, they make up and they do nice things for each other. Okay. So your perception of reality and love is yelling, screaming, arguing, physically hurting, verbal abuse, and things like that. And so as you grow up, that's what you're used to. And then someone comes along that's very nice to you, that treats you well, because that person, let's assume this person is a great person, okay? That's not there to intentionally hurt you and just really wants to get to know you, right? This person comes along and treats you with respect. He's fun. He's doing things right. He's trying to, and then he gets a little bit too close, and you're like, ooh, I don't know what that feeling is. Uncomfortable. You're not used to love. You're not used to someone caring about you. You're not used to this. You're not used to communicating. I always see mommy and daddy yelling, and that's how I operate. When I don't like something, I yell and I scream. But he's not screaming and yelling. He's just like, hey, I just want to talk to you right now. Like, don't yell at me. Like, I care about you. I love you. I want to talk to you. But this is how you operate. And so your perception of that is like, well, that's not love. Love is yelling. Love is screaming. Is yelling. And it sometimes require a little bit of physicality. I'm going to hurt this person if I don't like it. That's not love. And so a healthy person is not going to tolerate that. And so from time to time, I call these unicorns, okay? These unicorns may come 1 or 2 every decade, okay? So there's not a lot. There's not a lot, all right? 1 or 2 every decade. And when these unicorns come into your life and you're not ready, they're not going to stay very long. And so you're going to lose out. And so that's why most of the times, that when great people leave your life because you weren't ready, and that's okay. I believe that we all have this timeline that we learn and educate and we experience, and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. But then we have this sense of regret because we just lost this great person and this person that we loved, and it's like, that's okay. Another great person will come. You just have to believe that you have to work on yourself to become a great person, to become the person you want to attract. That is how you're going to naturally pull the right person into your life. It doesn't mean that you're not going to pull all these other shit that you don't want. That's naturally going to happen when you're more attractive and you take care of yourself. Other people will kind of flock to you, okay? But you have a better eye. You can spot these. You're like, this person just want to get in my pants. Pass. You know that. Then you see a great person that wants to get to know you, that's curious about you, that's fun and exciting, that understands. We call these men 3% men, okay? These are the 3% men. 3 out of 100 guys may understand this. And this is not from me, it's from my coach, Coach Corey Wayne. He has a book on how to be a 3% man, okay? I was not a 3% man. I still don't think I will ever be. That's just how I think. You might think, I don't know, but to me, I'm always a student. I'm always learning, and this is something that I will always continue to work on. And, there's always more things to add on to my knowledge, right? Filling in the knowledge gap. That being said, that my goal in life is, and my mission and my purpose is to help people, to help them better their relationships so that they could live a happy and healthy life and in their relationship. And if things kind of fall apart, it's kind of my job to pick that back up and be like, this is where you're fucking up. This is what you're not doing. This is what you're doing wrong. And this is what you're not doing enough. And so that's my job as a coach. And thank you for your share knowledge. Of course. And so that's me. That's me. Okay. And so let's talk about that last summary that I was going to talk about. So what she means by being safe. Okay. So feeling safe allows her to be more present. So you want her to be more authentic. Okay. Providing the safety. So authenticity and self-expression, being able to be true to herself so that she could be authentic to you. She could open up. And that's what all women want. You're welcome, Tracy. So the desire to love and be loved. That's what women all want that. Okay. Women want a man to hold her feminine energy, to protect it, to understand that, look, you might be crazy. I know you women are crazy. You drive us crazy. Okay. But it doesn't mean that we don't care about you. We don't love you. It just means that, damn, how much are we willing to tolerate? You're crazy, right? You're crazy. So, but it's like, well, we need you. Okay. We need you because if we want kids, I'm not going to be able to have a kid on my own, at least to call my own. Okay. So yeah, we need you. We can't hate each other. In other words. Okay. I don't want that separation and hate for each other. I want us to understand each other. So yes, as much as I'm giving guys a hard time because we're the leaders, I want to encourage women too to understand us, that sometimes we have hard fucking days and it happens. And you know, sometimes we don't want to come home to someone that nags, that always be like, damn, I can't wait to release my anger on him because he didn't put the dishes away that I told him to. It's like, sometimes, you know, like, take a step back, because you know, when it's about you, it's no longer about the relationship. It's about you, and that's the beginning of the end of the relationship. So I encourage you guys, practice a little bit of emotional regulation too. Everybody, okay? Don't argue, try to understand us. We have hard times too, okay? So desire to love and be loved, okay? She feels safe so that she can express herself. But like I said, if a guy starts displaying a lot of weak behaviors, he lacks direction, unable to pick himself back up, it's been a long time, it's been over a year, she's gonna leave you. It's just the way it is, okay? So closed off, the difference, you know, I was telling you earlier, there's a difference between not being able to trust someone and not trusting them. Not being able to trust someone is due to past traumas. Not trusting someone is because they have given you reasons not to trust them. With that being said, that is the end of the show. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate your time. I hope you guys learned a lot. Share, like I said, share with your friends, okay? I think I pour my heart into understanding this, and you know, it's gotten me to a very good place, and I hope it gets you to a very good place too. Like I said, it doesn't mean that I don't have bad times. I'm having more great times than bad times, okay? With that being said, thank you all for your time. I'll catch you guys on my next live next Saturday. I'll think of another topic. Until then, have a great weekend. All right, peace.